So my people, I welcome every one of you that is joining me this evening. I greet you all. You're welcome. I appreciate every one of you that support me on this page. And those of you that subscribe to my page, to my channel, I appreciate every one of you. I know of late have not been consistent. I've not been showing up. Please bear with me. In my calendar, this is a very difficult period for me, but I'm doing what I can. But today, because it's Sunday and because of everything that is going on, I was able to muster up courage to be here. So I want us to look at what is trending about the prophet Fufu and VDM, the very dark black man. And let's compare it with what has happened with our brother Ijele and the situation surrounding the problem that he is in it today, right? And I can see a very clear parallel of what happened between the two. First off, if you look at this man, Prophet Fufu, and you look at VDM, they are from the same region, right? And VDM was calling him out for his miracle water and his signs and wonders range of product. That they have water, they have oil, they have key, they have gate. In fact, the guy has so many products he patented and he was selling to his congregation. And everybody knows what is in all of this. This is a billion-dollar industry. You as an individual, you cannot stop it. It is what it is. Like people say, when it's time, who will learn, will learn. Who will learn the hard way, will learn the hard way ultimately, because you cannot tell an adult what to do, right? It's just like when they sell smoke cigarettes and they say the Federal Ministry of Health warns that smoking is dangerous to health. Like, of course, it's dangerous to have, but you still have the free will to buy it, to consume it with your own money, something similar. Anyway, that's by the way. So when he started calling out this guy, I didn't hear people saying, "Oh, our own, our own." You say, "Why are you not calling out all these Yoruba pastors, all these other bigger pastors?" Right? Come with me. Nobody was saying that. People were like, people were seeing the point in what he was saying. Like, guy, how can you patent water and start selling and say you have NAFDAC? Like, is it really approved by the authorities responsible for consumable goods? Do you have a number authorizing you to sell this product? People could see that point with him, right? And nobody was like, this guy is from your region. I reckon he's from the same state. Correct me if I'm wrong, or I know both of them are from the South. And I'm not hearing, "Oh, you're pulling your brother down." I'm not hearing, "Oh, why must it be only you?" People were like staying on the point that is being raised. Like Germans would say, tat sake, like the real issue on ground. And then eventually the case was building up, and very dark man went about it another way. Like, he was sued. He was sued to court, right? And he started building evidence the way he's doing it. Although the word on the street is that prophet has forgiven him and retracted the court summons. It's not official. It is not on his official pages. So it could be a detractor. It could not. It could also be that the case is still there, but I don't know. But that's the word on the social media that he has retrieved and kind of stopped the court summons. But I don't know how true it is. Very Dark Man himself said it, that he's not sure it is true, right? And he doesn't know the facts around it. And the man have not said it with his own mouth. Like, it's written, but nobody knows. Is it really coming from him? And now we are seeing how he went about it. And let's assume how he was building the case, going to the NAFDAC office and registering it. Now it's no longer about him. It's about consumer protection, right? It's no longer about the case he has with this man to prove whether his case is working or he's not working. It's now about consumer protection. If someone is having this patent and saying this water is for this purpose, Who checked it? You understand? What quality control measures did they go through? How did it come about to have that permission to sell this product, right? So the Nigerian Association for Food and Drug Control is now involved, right? And so I'm thinking about it that this is the difference. The way Ijele did his own, Ijele kind of just walked into their trap, literally, right? If this guy would just present himself there, I believe they already bought dishonorable people in corridors of Nigerian judicial system, and they will do whatever they will with him. But I feel like the way he has gone about it is a sucker punch, like it's like real deal. Because now it's not about him, it's about protection of the Nigerian population, and with visible evidence, because he went and bought his products. I think let me share the pictures of the products that he went to buy. I posted it on my page. Let me share it with you guys here. So I feel like this is using your logic instead of emotion to go about something. And when people say that people from our region is always emotional, I begin to see it. It's very obvious here now, because it's the same issue. He could have just said, oh, what is going to happen, and just walked in there, and then they already have everything arranged, like we saw in the case of Ijele, and they already bought everywhere, but they laid their bed. Ijele just kind of walked there, and having access to him, they were able to do whatever they did. That now we don't know the condition he's in right now, right? So you can see he went to get his evidence. He got his evidence. He bought the water. He went to test it. I believe there's a lot of cognitive intentionality there, not just how you feel about something, but thinking about it, consulting, and how will you proceed in this scenario, right? And we see he involved the NAFDAC here. You can see the NAFDAC, the Nigerian Agency for Food and Drug Control. You can see him here making legal, official registration and complaints that this product is there. Does he have, who approve it? What are the ingredients? What is the active ingredient that give it that power to do what it says it's doing? Because, for example, if you want to say Panadol, or you want to say Panadol Extra, for example, you have to register the active ingredient. It has to be reading on the label that the active ingredient is caffeine and paracetamol, like something like that. It has to have some active ingredient and that active ingredient is known, that is what it does. That is the function of that active ingredient. Like, it's already a known factor. So, I applaud this guy, the way he has gone about this thing. Hello. I applaud him, honestly. Like, and right now the guy man is like, man, like, it's like the way it's like the Haman story, that conspired against Israelites, and in the end, it's like the dog is almost like he's the one that's going to end the need. So, and he is withdrawing the case right now because there is nothing to prove there, right? And this is normally what should be done in every clime across Nigeria, across Africa. And that's why you don't do that in Europe or in America. You don't bring products that are not approved by the food and drug agencies of those countries. In the US, it's called FDA. Here in Germany, of course, so you can't. Even the water that is coming out from your tap is always controlled. They have to control it to check the quality of the water, and there are pathways where you cannot do anything to protect the groundwater that is the source of that water. Only that one alone, right? So, because we have institutions in Nigeria that are not ready to do their job, and so people are using the opportunity and the tactics they have. For example, in the case of what this buk 0b was doing, right? Ijele could take up one of all those people he claimed he healed, he claimed he whatever, and go to the institutions, for example, medical institutions, like, okay, let them test this person. What is, like, there's a way you can go about something and not play into that emotion immediately, like as they do you, body go just the worry you want, blah, you just kind of, with now the way Very Dark Man have done it, a lot of lawyers are even coming out to say they want to represent him pro bono, right? So at the end of the day, religion is going to be with us, whether we want it or we don't want it. And not just the Christian religion. Religion is going to be with us for what it is. You understand? And at the end of the day, if you see in this life what is going on, it's like, it's like a program. Everybody there, you get where you day inside. At the end of the day, when you look at it, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't really make sense. But it is what it is. Everybody, they have created it and it is there. And more importantly, we don't have any hand in it. We as people of African descent, as it is right now, this civilization, we are just kind of partakers. We are not partakers, like we are just consumers within it. Like we are what you would call NPCs, non-performing components. When you are playing video game, when you are doing, like, there are components that they are just there, but they are not part of those who are doing the active performance, people who are actually doing the action. You understand? We are just there as the NPCs, non-performing components. That is what is playing out. And at the end of the day, you will see maybe wherever they give us a little bit of chance, we can just come in and do something. But we don't have the power to define. We don't have the power to determine, because we are just NPCs. So wherever they put us, wherever we see ourselves, we're just able to just kind of eke out a living. We don't have our own system. We don't have, like, let's assume we even have our own religion. We have not been able to evolve it and change it. Like we are stuck. We are not even in this century. African people have not even come into this century. Like, I mean, when you look at the situation of Africa, it's a very sad place. Like we are even, like, you understand, and the thing that can elevate us is from the mind. Yeah, the thing that can elevate us is in the mind. Who can come into our heart? It's a program, and there's a reason why that program has to start from small, right? And so we have it within us. It's like you are plugged in there, fixated on it. You depend on it. Your life flows from it. There's nothing anybody can do about it. And the person that can do it is to change the programming. But we don't have that person that can do it. And a lone wolf cannot do it because they will shut him down. It will become, you can't stop a $1 billion industry. You can't. It is what it is. Everything is almost like an illusion, right? And that brings me, like, when you go to the Bible, say all is meaningless. Everything is meaningless. And even the people that are carrying Bible, they don't even read the Bible. They don't know the content. They are just using it as a tool, as a ladder, And one thing we have to know is that the scriptures were, first of all, here on the soil of the African continent. So if anybody came to the African continent and took the scriptures and changed it or adapted it and did whatever and used it to their advantage, and in any way, and it came back to us, even as African people, even on the African continent, why are we the one also exploiting ourselves? Think about it. Good evening. Why are we exploiting ourselves? This guy is an African man, right? Not just him, all of them, they're Africans. And if we have this tool, we can adapt it to us, our culture, we can adapt it to our way of life, we can use it to our benefit, because there are a lot of wisdom in the texts for guidance, for planning, for leadership. There is a lot of wisdom in it. And if People can go to Africa and lift these ancient texts and use them, adapt them, and use it to do something. How come the only thing we can do with our own is to exploit our own brothers and sisters? Why is that only what we can do? We can only You only see people exploiting. The same way, if you talk about, oh, democracy that they brought to us, you will still see our own people. They are the one exploiting the system. There is nothing we are doing well. Nothing. Not even the educational system they gave to us. That we are not doing anything with it. So at the end of the day, African people are just eternal babies, everlasting babies as things stand now. A baby that you have to feed, change their diaper, decide what they will eat, decide where you will take them, plan their life. That's what it is today. I'm sorry. Even people who will come up and say they want to do revolution, they will still exploit, like, because something is missing. And the person that will come and teach that, because it's all in the mind, is reprogramming, unplugging, relearning. But you're not going to have that chance. Nobody will give you that room because it's a $1 billion industry. Nobody. You can't, because you cannot unprogram people. It's not possible. You cannot. I'm sorry. So yeah, the Bible is there. And if you look at what the Bible says, basically, for example, let's assume say we want to practice Christianity now, and you are reading what the Bible says. There's nothing that the Bible allows that these people are doing, exploiting the other people, the poor, the vulnerable, the widows. What are they doing? Nothing. Instead, they are acquiring wealth. They are acquiring wealth. And still, the Bible says all is meaningless under the sun. The same Bible they are carrying. What do you want to acquire all these things for? Because the Bible says everything is meaningless. You can acquire everything. Let me even go to the Bible and share with you guys. Good evening, Ifeanyi. Let me share with you the Bible verse of Ecclesiastes chapter 1. Say, meaninless, says the teacher. Utterly meaninless. All is meaninless. Everything is meaninless. What do people gain from all their labors at which they toil under the sun? Generation come and generations go, but the earth remains forever. The sun rises and the sun sets and hurries back to where it rises. The wind blows to the south and turns to the north. Round and round it goes, ever returning to its course, on all its course. All streams flow into the sea, yet the sea is never full. To the place the stream comes from, there they return again. All things are wearisome, more than one can say. The eye never has enough of seeing, nor the ear is full of hearing. What has been done will be done again. What has been will be again. So that's where this thing comes from. Like, there's nothing new under the sun. Like, what has been will be again. You understand? What has been will be again, and what has been done will be done again. Right? There is nothing new under the sun. Is there anything of which one can say, look, this is something new? It was here already long ago. It was here before our time. No one remembers the former generations, and even those yet to come will not be remembered by those who follow them. So when you look at these people and you see how they amass wealth, you will realize that they don't know the Bible. And when you see the people who follow them, you will realize that they don't even know the Bible. Right? They don't have anywhere in the Bible that they can say they have read it, and it is something that they can hold on to in times of problem, in times of difficulty, in times of prophecy. And, like life, it is what it is. You understand me? Yeah, We come, we go. The people that came before us, we don't know them. The people that are coming after us, we will not know them. It's just a period, like we come, we leave our legacy, we do what we can. But for some reason, leaders of African descent are stuck in mindless acquisition of wealth, whether it be politicians, whether it be Christian leader, whether it be Islamic leader, whether it be community leader, any kind of leaders, they are stuck. Yeah? They are stuck. They cannot move past it. Okay, for example, I tell you guys that I like to read like normally if you grow up as a Christian, you're supposed to have some Bible verses that you can say, okay, I've read this, right? Or some Christian songs or lyrics, something that touches you, that's something that moves you. These people don't have. What they have is my papa say, my mama say, my fall into the pool of Bethesda, all those kind of a thing. So, well, what purpose is all this? Like, let's even assume that we were colonized, we don't have power, and the religion was imposed on us. The same thing happened to Black Americans under slavery, but it was the Black American priests, pastors that led the revolution for them to end the slavery. It was from the pulpit. When you hear Martin Luther King, who was he? He was a pastor. He was a pastor. That time, African people were not allowed to come together. They were supposed to be in the farm, do all like this. The oppression was real. But it was in the church they were able to come together, right? And it was in the church that they were taught the message from the same Bible. Even though they try to remove some parts that will make them very fiery, but even with that Bible, but even in that place, they were able to use Bible to redeem themselves, to gather themselves, to educate themselves. Are you getting me? But what do we do with our own? Our priests are busy selling water, miracle water, eh? Degrading our women. Imagine what our priests are doing, our pastors, our all these pastorpreneurs are doing with women and children. Imagine if other races will be doing that to African people, what we will be saying. Huh? Look at what they will be doing to our women, our young women who are the future of any nation. And what are the men doing? Nothing. They have no understanding. So what is happening with Ijele is just that he played into their hands. He played into their hands. And I wish it was the other way around. I wish, but I can't. Wishes are horses, or how do they say it? Yeah. So it doesn't make sense when you say Nigeria is not working and you are angry, but it depends on what exactly is not working about, right? And then you take up arms as individual people to fight a whole government, and somebody is telling you that you cannot do that. It's a dead end, and they make you an anti people for telling them a very simple truth. It's a dead end. For telling them you will radicalize your region and make it impasse. It's a reality that you cannot escape. It's a reality you cannot escape. So it doesn't even matter. We are coming, we are going. It doesn't matter whether who dies today, who dies tomorrow. When you go to Asian cultures and see, for example, even I remember one time there was earthquake in Japan, for example, right? And then they were sharing something, and you expect people to rush and be in that kind of, and they were still orderly, and they were still taking turns, and people were amazed at that kind of orderliness. It's because of the mind. Their mind have been elevated beyond where they are. So an average black man right now, he just wants to accumulate wealth. So, and I think maybe it's because of the abject poverty that most people are coming from. So when you're coming from lack and you see food, all of a sudden you want to eat and eat. You cannot know when you are full. You eat. Like because I feel that is what is happening to Africa because of that poverty mentality. When you're coming from poverty and all of a sudden you come into wealth and you never want to go back to poverty again, and as a result you want to steal and steal and steal. Don't get me wrong, it's not like they are not stealing in Western world, but the difference is they are built institutions that insulate their corruption and their mismanagement and their misleadership in the West, right? So from time to time, you see them, their judiciary still tries to rise up, to curtail what is going on. Like there was a time, there was one man that the case was going on, like the money that man stole, Mile Murdoch, Murdoch. I don't know how to pronounce it. So they say like he has hedge funds, billions and billions of dollars that was implicated in that fraud that time. If that had happened in a developing country, it could collapse the whole economy. But because Western nations have built institutions already. So they have, for example, a welfare system that is running, they pay into it. They have a healthcare system that is already running. You understand? Like the system is there, and they have the judiciary that is standing tall, trying very hard to hold on to the law and maintain legality everywhere. So you understand? Even when some people come and mismanage and steal, people on the grassroots are not feeling it immediately because the institution are cushioning the impact. Are you getting me? Yeah, at the end of the day, what do people want to hear about Ijele? Even me myself, I don't know. I don't know because the family are keeping it under, and the lawyers are not also revealing anything to us. So right now we are in a limbo. But I know that, for example, people were going around and say, "Oh, it's because of money." It's not about money at all. At all, it's not about money. But when there's a conspiracy and there's a lot of people who have bought their way to complicate things, so yeah, it's taking more time than it's supposed to take. And like if you ask me, I will say the legal representation that Ijele had from the beginning was the problem, because you have a legal representation that didn't act swiftly. In my own opinion, if you ask me, I will say yes. His legal representation, for example, when that first magistrate struck out the case, he struck out the case and transferred it to another magistrate. I expected his legal representation to take it up and go to a high court, because if you struck out a case that it is not in the jurisdiction of a magistrate and taking it to another magistrate, that is a misappropriation of the law. A wise counsel is supposed to take it up and go to a higher court and say, look at what is going on, it's not acceptable. But we didn't see that. So the legal misrepresentation, yeah, let me not say more than necessary, but yeah, let me keep it that way. Yeah, if you ask me, this is my own thinking. And yeah, and from there the whole thing, and that's how they had the loophole to work it and get all these these honorable people to kind of conspire and work the case, so the point that they had to bring him to Lagos, where they are able to have access to him to do the bodily damage that they all intended to do, which they were not able to penetrate the people in the north, in Nasarawa, right? So unfortunately, this is the situation we have now. And yeah, the health issue is there. So for some reason, the family decided not to make it public. So some people forget that we are not family members, that we are friends, we are fans, we are not family members. And so the cancer to Ijele, for example, they cannot be reporting to us. It is what they are telling to the family that the family can tell to us. You understand? So if the family doesn't say anything to me, I'm not going to have anything to say to you. And if I'm not seeing, for example, the media reporting something that I can extrapolate and expand on, there's nothing I can do, right? So some people say, "Oh, you are the one, you are the one that urged him on and fired him on and fired." Like, listen to yourself. Like, the person you are saying they represent, they push, is he a baby? Like, doesn't he have his mind of his own? Does it mean that when you are doing anything, you are not in control of yourself? Like, you have no mind of your own? That whatever you are doing at any time t is something that somebody else made you to do? That's a very stupid narrative. Like, it's disgusting. And when you look at the person of Ijele, does Ijele look like somebody that someone is telling what he will do? Right? As do we live on Facebook the whole time and monitoring what everybody is doing? The life is individual. Your actions are individual. We are doing what we do when we come on social media on our own individual, like, personal choices. It's not about what I'm sitting here and doing is my own choice. And it's my responsibility. It's not my family. It's not my husband. It's not my children. It's not my brothers, or not my sister, or my village people. Take responsibility. Dare to take responsibility for anything you do in your life. Stop looking for who to blame. Stop looking who to point finger. Okay. So if there is something that someone has done, is there a breach of law? The question should be, what is the penalty for that? Yeah, if you say this person insulted me, you say this person whatever, misrepresented your person. Okay, fine. So what is the penalty for that? Is the penalty death sentence? That's what you should be asking yourself. Is the penalty for insulting somebody? Is the penalty for accusing someone of not doing real miracle? Is the penalty death sentence? That's what I want to hear from you, cursed people that are following stupid people that are out there to exploit. Like, seriously, what is the penalty for that? Like, if I go out and do something that is out of law, there is consequence. Yeah. So what is the consequence? The only time you can even think about death sentence is when a life is lost. And even at that, not every country applies the death sentence. So what is this about death? Why? Because you want to exert the force. Because if it was in your power, that's what you would do. You want to take life. You want to go to the maximum, because that's where you are in your mind. That's where you are in your mind. That's why it is going on in the Southeast even till today. Even today, a lot of doings was going on, but I removed myself from it, because if this is what you want, so be it. So be it. Because everybody, you see the same thing. You see the same thing with this tomato man. What is his name again? That a girl made a comment on Facebook about his tomato, and today she's going through very serious litigation. This is what we do. Like, we want the highest penalty. Like, where is it coming from? Obiojo, Obiofu, where is it? Where does it come from? You need to look into it and ask yourself, yeah, if there's that's why there are different categories of criminality. There's a misdemeanor. If something is a misdemeanor, you get a fine. If you go into the train without your ticket, it's not a death sentence. Are you wrong? Yes. Is it illegal? Yes. What is the crime for that? It's something you can do. For example, you enter a country illegal and they catch you. They can say, okay, there are penalties to deport you or to put you in detention for 6 months or whatever. Yeah. But why are you always so wanting extreme outcomes? Extreme outcomes. Thank you, Erisco. Why do you want extreme outcomes? Erisco want extreme outcome just for barely a comment. Just a comment. You see a fly, you raise your sledgehammer. Because why? You can. Just because you can means you should do it. Because you are in a place to take life, then you will do it. But remember, there is nothing new under the sun. There's nothing new under the sun. There is nothing new under the sun. You are doing, you will go, you will come. So I don't know where the extreme intention to do things to the extreme. We see it also on young women, how they maltreat minors in their care. They go to the extreme all the time. Just because you can, just because you have the power, just because you're in a position to do that, and then you want to go to the extreme, to the point of taking life, to the point of taking somebody's life. And if somebody came on social media and made a video to his congregation and said that if someone speak against him, that the person is going to have kidney damage and the person is going to die, and that the money the person will make on social media, is it going to worth his death? And we see that happening. Like, now tell me, which one is more cruel? Which one is more fallible for the law? That someone insulted you, that someone made accusations, verbal accusation. There was no action. There was no action. Everything was verbal. No stone. Nobody was hurt. No money was lost. Verbal accusation. And the person that went and connived and caused actual human bodily damage, which one is more serious? Which one will deserve the more severe punishment? Yeah. So are you guys telling me in your own corner of your Bible that the penalty for saying something that you don't like is death? And you are here every day threatening me. You are here every day insulting me, threatening me, because you feel you can and there's no consequence and it's okay. But somebody cannot do that for somebody you raise beyond yourself and adulate like your God and your creator. And so if someone says something, then the penalty should be death. I don't get it. Like, you can have your differences, you can have your positions, your place where you stand, that is not in the same place. It's all good. But when you see something like this that is going to the extreme, you should be able to recognize it as a normal human being. Why would you want someone to die because of a comment they made? Why would you want someone to die just because of what they are saying, that nobody is harmed, that nobody has been sent out? There's a difference between instigating people to go and actually do something. When someone come and instigate other people, say go and buy somebody, go out and burn down, and people actually literally go out and do exactly what they have been instigated to do. There is a difference. There is a complete difference. Yeah, anyway, so at the end of the day, I want to read another verse of the Bible. Ecclesiastes 2 verse 4. Let me share with you guys. It said, I undertook great projects. I don't know if you can read it. Can you read it? So this is where I want to read. It said, I undertook great projects. I built houses for myself and planted vineyards. I made gardens and parks and planted all kinds of fruit trees in them. I made reservoirs to water groves of flourishing trees. I bought male and female slaves and had other slaves who were born in my house. I also owned more herds and flocks than anyone in Jerusalem before me. I amassed silver and gold for myself and the treasures of kings and provinces. I acquired male and female singers and a harem, as well as the delight of a man's heart. A harem is a lot of women, like concubine, right? And the delight of a man's heart. I became greater by far than anyone in Jerusalem before me. In all this, my wisdom stayed with me. I denied myself nothing my eyes desired. I refused my heart no pleasure. My heart took delight in all my labor, and this was the reward for my toil. Yet, when I surveyed all that my hands had done and what I have toiled to achieve, everything was meaningless, a chasing after the wind. Nothing was gained under the sun. Yeah. So, for those of you that carry Bible and you are using it to exploit people, like I saw a preacher saying that none of his forefathers will be none of his grandchildren will be poor again. He has bought houses, he has bought this, like they have. It's like they don't read the Bible. Oh, the words are too small. Sorry. Yeah. So what I'm reading Ecclesiastes 2, from 4 to 11. Yeah, let me write it down so you can read it in at home. When you can read it at home. Yeah, you can read it at home. Ecclesiastes 4, 2 4 to 11. That's what I just read for you guys. So you acquire everything, but at the end of the day, it's all meaningless. So all of them that are acquiring everything, building, like, in Europe, it's already happening. Many places that were cathedrals, they have been turned to restaurants, they have been turned to pubs, they have been turned, because why? Another generation will come, another generation. So what is all this exploitation? You have opportunity, you have the platform to better Africa, to elevate Africans, to do something good for African people. But no, you cannot, because they swear for you. Only what you can do is to exploit them. You want more and more. What do you want to do with it? You want to build house. You want to buy another land. You come to your compound. Like, I will never understand how Africans are comfortable with flaunting wealth in the midst of lack and poverty. That is something that I'm just like, I never understood it. Right from the time from my village, there are people, they will build mansion, it will be like a palace, and there are people living in malls, and and you feel confident and content to flaunt wealth in the midst of, like, in a normal way. If you see Europeans, you see Americans. That's why they put in all those systems of welfare, to make sure that there's a place you can go to get food, there's a possibility for you to get health care. You understand? That's how they put those kind of things in place and give themselves that like, make it easier for them, for their mind to bear, when they live in their affluence, drive their private jeeps, and how rich Oyibo lives now. Like, their own rich is not wetin dem dey talk. Like, their house is like a village, a whole village. They will have everything, a ranch, blah, 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 blah. You understand? So they were able to do that because, you understand me? So they are able to do that because they have put that welfare system in place, that the poorest of the poor can go, and they will give them something, a little bit, that they have a system in place that someone that is sick can go to the hospital without having to pay out of pocket. But it beats my imagination that African people don't have any of that system. A poor is poor to stupor. Like, you don't have food to eat, you don't have food to eat. It's not coming from anywhere. And the churches have not made themselves a place where people can come and eat. The gathering in the church is not for a place where people, they like, a church supposed to be a place where at the end of service, people can at least eat for the day, for that afternoon, to know that, okay, I commune with my brothers and sisters, so you can eat something and go home. A church is place you go to, spend all your money, go home empty-handed, expecting. They will tell you, give everything you have, and then you go home hungry and naked, right? So I don't get what is in Africa, the mind of African, that make us to be like that. It's unbelievable, But unfortunately, it is what it is. Unfortunately, it is what it is. So, let's look at what is going on in South Africa, for example. Let's look at what is going on in South Africa. Let me, I shared the post about this young lady. So, they said she's not Nigeria. She's not South African. So she was poised to win. She was poised to win this tournament. I believe so. If she was not booted out, beautiful lady. I mean, what's your problem with that? She was born in South Africa, and just because her father is Nigerian, hmm, born and raised in South Africa, and she's growing in South Africa, has South African citizenship. And when it came down to it, just because her father is from Nigeria, another Black African nation, they were not having it. They were not having it. And in the end, they said it's because her mother committed some kind of fraud when she was registering her birth and all those kind of a thing. So since when did children start paying for the sins of their parents? Like since when? Hello? And right before our eyes, we are seeing African people representing different nations. We are seeing Nigerians representing other nations at the Olympics, collecting gold on their behalf. Right? That even if she wins, she's going to live there in Africa, in South Africa. You know, the multiplier effect of her win is not coming to Nigeria. She lives there. She's going to buy and sell there. She's going to, all her, whatever she will do with that crown will be there. But they were not having it, you know. The same thing with, you know, they prefer somebody else. And then tomorrow we will still turn around and say, oh, they are doing us, they are doing us. You know? Okay, you look at the just concluded Olympics. Huh? The Nigerian cyclist doesn't even have bicycle. A German team have to borrow him bicycle. Meanwhile, the federal government said they budgeted 12 billion. 12 billion. The federal government budgeted 12 billion. You understand? So at the end of the day, you wonder, okay, what is it? Why loot 12 billion? 12 billion. You loot it. So you have Nigeria, the same biological makeup. Nigerian people in Africa, in Nigeria, they are not, one of them, they missed to register her. The other one, they forgot to add her. Imagine training for the Olympics, as tedious as it is, and somebody, just a civil servant, omits your name, and you get there, your name is not even on the list, and the person is not sacked. You know, this is childishness. No responsibility, no accountability. So you have the same Nigerian people in that Olympics, but who were nurtured in other countries, nurtured in America, nurtured in Germany, nurtured in Ireland, nurtured in UAE. They all went home with medals. But those ones in Africa, nothing. So it tell you that it is not, you know, that's where nature and nurture comes in. You see, the nature is Nigeria and East Africa, but the nurturing is not Nigeria. The nurturing is outside Nigeria, and they gave them all they needed, and they supported them. And the other girl that she was omitted in Nigeria last year, she went and won a gold in America, or silver. She won a medal. So at the end of the day, an African man is looking for who to blame. Why will you be looking white man to blame? White people have to do what they did for their own gain. What are you doing for your own gain, for the gain of your own people today? What? Nothing. You are stealing, embezzling. 12 billion. 12 billion embezzled, no medal. And the same people from Nigeria go to America, go to Germany, they were nurtured differently. The country invested in them, supported them ultimately, and they came home with gold. And so who are you going to blame in that incident? Who are you going to blame? Right? And so people think that if you believe in your country, it's a crime. Yeah, even in this Germany that is how many years old, that is relatively running very well. Every day people are out on the street protesting against one thing or the other. Like, how daft can you be that you think, oh, if somebody, like, you have to be on the side of fighting government, be on a secessionist for you to think you make sense? Make it make sense to me. You want to go and fight government, that's when you think you are making sense. That's when you feel your voice will be heard. Like, unlike fighting for your right within the country. Fighting for your rights within the country doesn't make sense to you. You have to be a secessionist where you are like an ant on one corner, perch. That's something they will just use something by, and then you will be finished. And then you come back and cry. Use your brain. God gave it to you for a reason. But at the end of the day, if you cannot use it, there's nothing anybody can do about it. There's nothing anybody can do about it. The case of Nigeria is a complete incompetence. Everywhere you look, there's a mean-spiritedness there. There's nothing we copy from the white people or the white people brought that we are doing well. In university education, when they brought it, the everywhere was equipped. There was water, there was Mensa, students didn't have to cook, they could go to the canteen and eat, continue their lectures, everything was arranged. And what did the elders of Nigeria do? They trashed it. Everything they came. If you see all these our elders that are like 70 years old, forget them. The state of the country is the Nigeria we are having today is their product. And then they will turn around and say, oh, the youth. What did the youth do? What have the youth benefited from Nigeria? If at all the youth have learned from you that looting is the way, being insincere is the way, like not being truthful is the way, exploitation is the way, what have they done? Everything they got into their hand, they trashed it. There is no system that is working. The same Islam that we have in Nigeria is the same Islam in UAE, in Saudi Arabia. But everybody, even former government, president, they will go to Saudi Arabia. People go there to seek for a greener pasture. It's the same Islam. Even people who don't like Islam, they will go there and dress like Islam, cover their hair, everything, so that they will survive. But it's the same Islam. In Saudi Arabia, in UAE, there are no amajiri on the street. There are no children left on the street without parents. There's no government that allows children to be like that. This is what you see on African streets. Why? Who taught them to be like that? So are you telling me that even if they taught you to do like that you cannot grow up and have sense? Tell me what the African people are doing well. One thing. The other day, I saw a video of African people going in the desert. There were so many, trying to live. I saw another video. They were in the middle of the ocean. Maybe someone of them have a GoPro or some kind of action cam, and they were able to capture it. And we don't know the outcome of it. Were they rescued? What became of them? We don't have any information. And we have an African Union sitting their butts somewhere in Addis Ababa collecting salary. They have never made any commentary about Africans escaping in the African youth trying to escape Africa. What can they do? Tell me today, and we are not the only one that was colonized. We are not the only one that was colonized. Asian people were colonized. Indians were colonized. What have we done with this relative openness and opportunity that was given to us? Nothing. Exploit, acquire wealth non-discreetly without caring. We have not built any system. There's no healthcare system. Our medical doctors are going abroad to go and work and save the life of other people. No system. Police, we cannot police well. The military are underfed. I saw a video, a military man was showing something that looked like very petty, very like akamo or something, very little, and soup that looked like something you want to wash away. That's the food they gave them in the barracks for that they are fighting Boko Haram, and you as a soldier, you have gun, you have everything, and somebody is feeding you that kind of food, and you cannot do anything about it, and you are coming to the public to come and be looking for sympathy. What will somebody like me and you that you are watching me, what can we do in a situation like that? Good evening, my brother. What can we do? There's nothing we can do. Yeah. So what, tell me one thing that African people are doing well. Let's even forget about say religion or look our traditional African way of life. If we are stuck there, at least try to move an inch. They'll say no, our culture is our culture. You want to practice the culture of 12th century or 13th century, but you are using iPhone Pro 15, you are using Galaxy S24, you are using the latest gadget, you are flying airplane, but you want to perpetuate the culture of people who live in 90 dim, and for you that is culture, and you forget that everybody you see today had a culture, and they are evolving and changing. You forget that every society you are seeing today, you are calling them modern. They used to be ancient like you, but you are stuck there. Why? Your head cannot consider, your mind cannot even conceive another way, which means you have not even arrived. Like you are stuck. You are somewhere in the past in your mind. You have not even entered this new civilization. And it's almost over. It's almost over because there's a lot of upheaval coming since Corona. There's a lot of change coming. Robots are coming. They are building robots. Even you have not been able to provide jobs for African people, and already robots are coming to take over jobs. Like it's like I don't know. I cannot even say it because it makes me angry, makes me mad. But like when you see, like I'm even surprised, like some of our people who are privileged to come abroad, they are angry that when they are not accepting them. Yeah, so yeah, anyway, I think my time is up. My people, I cannot say it all, but if you're an African person, think about it. Eh? Beyond beyond the desire to kill your fellow African, to prove to your fellow African that you are better, that you have something that they don't have. What else is there for us as African people? What else is there for us? What else? Huh? A lot of people try their best, do the best they can, and they are just wasted, taken from their car pride. That's it. We have not entered even. I think for me, the saddest thing is like we are going into a new era. It's like that industrialization is almost going, and Africans were not even able to participate fully in it as equal compatriots, equal participants. And now we are even moving away from that. We are moving away from that. Before they would say they came and took us, but today we are going by ourselves. We go by ourselves. We are happy to go by ourselves. And in many years before we even grow up, the situation for people like us was very bad, very, very difficult, very brutal. And the elite that traveled, our elders today that are 70, 80, 90, all these old people, and one agbaya, they went abroad and saw that, and they didn't come back and teach us that. Instead, they can only fall back that they were better than us, that they went abroad. They sold the idea that going abroad was the ultimate. They came and took their children and took their children there. And I remember back then in the village, we tried so much to speak English because When we spoke Igbo, they laughed at us. It was like a, the same people that are doing Igbo, the same elders that are doing Igbo this, Igbo this, they are the same elders that talk down and look down on us because we were speaking Igbo as children, that we couldn't speak English as children. There was no encouragement. They will come back in the village and be speaking English, and everybody desire to speak English and not to, and that's where you see this notion of speaking Igbo making you look local, making you look uneducated, like, you are just like someone in the village in Wake, like everything associated with your origin becomes something that can be used to ridicule you. The same elders that went abroad in the time that being like this was very hard and a very dark place, even not that it's the best today, but it was still worse there. They couldn't learn anything from there and come home and say, no, we don't want our people to go back and experience that. We can make it better. The same thing, Asian people went there and experienced and went home to build their home and say, no, they want an equally conducive environment for their people, that their people don't have to go there and experience that. No African people were able to do that. Even to tomorrow, their healthcare is abroad, their fire houses are abroad, their holiday is abroad, their treatment is abroad. Who do them? Who do them? Is it the Bible that did them? Is it the Bible that did them? Is it the Quran that did them that? Think about it. They made everything abroad fine. And today you now want us to say, what have you done with the country? With petroleum in this same time frame, Dubai was built, is the place on top of the face of the earth to go to. And where we are today is in debt. Nothing. I beg you. So, yeah, my people, I've talked here and there. Make I not go talk past my mouth. It is what it is. Me, I cannot blame anybody that is doing anything that is doing. You see what they do for. If you see who you sell miracle water, sell it. The person buy. If you no work, next time no go buy again. Don't tell them anything again. Yeah. If you see, like, as I am at a point in my life now, if anybody say the sky is green, I'll say yes, exactly. That is what it is, really, because there's no point, really. Honestly, I'm just overwhelmed like that. Maybe this phase will pass, right? But right now, this is how I feel about this whole thing, because how can adults, people's parents, you look in among people who are being exploited, their parents, they have kids, they have generations coming under them. So it's a lost battle. So I like the way VDM has gone about this. We will see how it's going. And for Ijele, I don't know anything more. Nothing have been communicated to me, and we shall all see. So if I have any update, I will let you people know. But for now, I don't have any information that I want to give you. But I can tell you that it is not about money. There are other things that are playing out that is not necessarily money, because even the bail condition have been varied, even the bond has been reduced. So it's not about money. So just forget about those people that just cashing feelings. At the end of the day, if you are rejoicing that someone is dying, it's not going to die your own. Yeah, your own is also there waiting for you. Yeah. So thank you so much, my people. I appreciate every one of you that has been on this video with me this hour long. Yeah, we may agree to disagree one way or the other. Let the conversation continue in the comment section. And yeah, I appreciate your support. For those of you who support me, those of you who subscribe to my page. If you don't follow, please click the follow button, follow. If you are not sharing, please share. If you are not supporting, please try to support one way or the other. For those of you who send me superstars on Facebook, on PayPal, I appreciate every one of you. Thank you so much for all you do. I pray that Almighty God will bless you and keep you and make your path to be clear, and that you will get the desires of your heart this week and always. Thank you so much, guys. God bless you all. Bye for now.